Saturday 49ers update time. We're doing it from Paso Robles this time. I actually got requests in the comment section of Atascadero and of Avila Beach to go to Paso. And we didn't leave slow out yesterday either. Time to talk about Brock Purdy, George Kittle, and the 49ers salary cap situation. They've got about $50 million of 2025 salary cap space even after paying George Kittle. The contract actually opened up $8 million in 2025 space. And the way that they did it, well, we know that they love to run that staggered option bonus structure. So George Kittle has veteran minimum base salaries for every single year of this record deal. But they're paying him an option bonus instead of most of the base salary in all those seasons, so they can prorate it against the salary cap. It is the structure that the 49ers have worked with over the course of essentially all of these mega deals, and we can expect them to do the same with Brock Purdy. Now, a lot of people think that just because they have $50 million available right now, that's going to be the value of Brock Purdy's contract, that it's just a clean fit. But it's not like this game of simple Tetris. It's a much more complex game of financial Tetris that the 49ers are playing. And Purdy's cap hit this year is not going to be $50 million, even if he makes $60 million a year. Purdy's cap hit is going to be low, just like George Kittle's saved about $8 million this year. His old cap hit was $22 million. His new cap hit is $14 million because the 49ers stretched it further out. You're going to see the similar type of dynamic with Brock Purdy's contract. Now, funny enough, Purdy's entire family is in town. They went to the Warriors game. Sean, Brock's dad, Brock himself, and Chubba, Brock's younger brother, they all went to the Warriors game. Unfortunately, they didn't see a win in Game 6, but a lot of people are saying, oh, are the 49ers getting close to a deal with Brock Purdy? Because they're all around. Based on what I understand, it's just some family time, but things can always accelerate more quickly than you might expect. Either way, the fact that Brock Purdy is at the 49ers offseason program, the fact that George Kittle is at the 49ers offseason program, this is all great news for San Francisco. Hell, Nick Bosa posted a couple weeks ago from Los Gatos. We're used to him driving his boat around Fort Lauderdale at this time of the year. Trent Williams, we're used to not knowing where the hell he is at this time of the year. He's at the 49ers facility. With Kittle now in on the deal worth $76 million, $76.1 million, $76.4 million, he had to edge out who do you get? Trey McBride. He had to edge out Trey McBride, so he's at $19.1 million per year. With Kittle now in the building as well, the 49ers may have perfect attendance, which just shows you the sense of urgency, the focus from this football team to usher in the draft class. A week ago at this time, I wasn't here in Paso. I was cooped up in the 49ers facility up in Santa Clara. I prefer Paso to Santa Clara, by the way, but I was cooped up in the facility, and they're rounding out this 11-player draft class. And this is an ambitious renovation. It's an ambitious but necessary renovation that the 49ers are making of their entire roster. The only way that it's going to work, the only way that you're going to successfully pass that baton onto the future is if your veteran leadership has a clean handoff. And the veteran leadership is Trent Williams, is George Kittle, is Brock Purdy now at this point. It's really important for all those guys to be in the building over the course of what's going to be a critical and a long off season. And those guys are indeed there. Now, one more thought on the Kittle deal. He's at $19.1 million per year. I'm going to do a big contract breakdown over the course of this next week up on the San Francisco Standard, but just give me some patience. I'll do it after my birthday on Monday. I don't want to be writing a contract breakdown on Monday, and my anniversary on Tuesday, right? Anniversary, the camera woman here wants me to talk about our anniversary. She was mouthing it right now as I was discussing my birthday. I don't know how this ended up that it's back-to-back days, birthday and anniversary, but I guess that's the agreement that we made back in 2022. But anyway, once that's all done, we made the agreement to get married in 2022. Yeah, so now the camera woman's deciding to talk in the middle of the video. You didn't want to be mic'd up. You could have interjected if we had the other wireless mic on you. But I'm writing a George Kittle contract analysis. I'm not letting you get me off focus here. The contract analysis is going to be happening over the course of this week. And a lot of people wondering, how did he get to $19.1 million per year when the previous high water mark was $19 million per year? The way that he got there is a base salary of $22.4 million in the final year of the contract, which is 2029, when George is going to be 36 years old. That money is not guaranteed. Is it likely that he gets to that portion of the deal? Is it likely that he makes $22 million? Where will the market be? I don't know the answer to any of those questions, but I do know that the base salary, which is not guaranteed in that final year, was specifically designed to push the contract average up to $19.1 million and to beat out Trey McBride. So the 49ers can actually run similar tactics with Brock Purdy to get his contract up to whatever it needs to be for Purdy to agree to it. I don't know if it's 55, if it's 60, 61. It's going to be in the 50s or maybe even the 60s. I don't know. It doesn't really matter in the large scheme of things because the 49ers and Purdy can agree on something that is amenable for both sides that might be a little bit inflated just so the APY looks a little bit better. So in that way, we need to remember that this contract maneuvering is going to be a very important part of what the 49ers do next, because it was in Kittle's deal and it will be as Brock Purdy's deal is finalized. I'm going to pivot here to finish this Saturday update. We're on our way to Visalia. We're going to have some good stuff from Tulare County coming up. Shout out to George McCann. This is my elementary school. A 100th anniversary is being celebrated today, so I'll be speaking there. We'll have a couple 49ers related things. I think a lot of my roots go back to George McCann in Visalia, so I did want to acknowledge that. We're excited to be back in the 559. But before we go, we got about a minute left. And it's a week, like I said, it's been a week since I was cooped up in that draft room covering the 49ers in Santa Clara. They now have 17 new rookies. We talk about all the veterans whom the 49ers have retained. Some they haven't retained, obviously, but they're doubling down on their commitment on these A-list pillars who are going to have to guide these rookies along into the 2025 season. And out of all these rookies, I think that the one that is going to surprise the most, and the one that's, I think, maybe even the most critical for the 49ers to have a successful 2025 season is the linebacker. They picked him in the 3rd round, Nick Martin, because they lost Dre Greenlaw. And remember, consider the importance of linebacker and how it's been demonstrated that the 49ers are so much worse when they don't have appropriate talent at that weak side linebacker position. It was on stark display in Super Bowl 58. They were completely shutting down the Kansas City Chiefs until Greenlaw walked onto the field and tore his Achilles. At that moment, the Chiefs got going offensively. Greenlaw wasn't available for the next season except for 35 snaps. They looked bad defensively over the course of the whole year. The one variable that you can most clearly point to that delineates 49ers defensive success and 49ers defensive struggles is weak side linebacker. They picked Martin out of Oklahoma State in that 3rd round, and I think he fits all the measurables, including the long arms of Dre Greenlaw, but he plays like a missile, a little bit like Malik Mustafa. I think that he can be the guy that helps the 49ers defense find its stride the way that it was enjoying its stride before the Dre Greenlaw injury back in 2023. Now, it's going to be up to the veterans like George Kittle, like Brock Purdy, like the veterans on defense, so Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, to shepherd guys like Nick Martin along. So the 49ers are going to want to bind everything together in an efficient way, kind of like this town has been able to bind things together in an efficient way. Take a look at the square all around here in Paso. It's, San Luis Obispo gets a lot of love for its downtown. Paso might have more like nice restaurants, and we had a good breakfast burrito too at the Red Scooter. Check it out. It is, by the way, 49ers territory. People have made that very clear in the comment section. Central Coast, it might be halfway between LA and San Francisco, but culturally, I think it's closer to the Bay Area. See you guys from the 559.